joining today for the Trailblazers podcast. Today I've decided to do a bit of a change up in the podcast. I don't have a guest. Today I'm going to share my story. I've been hosting the podcast, I think 9 or 10 episodes so far, and I haven't really explained who I am. So those who have not seen me on other speaking events or don't know me personally don't know my story. So I think it's time that I shared a little bit about myself. So, my name is Jill Timushka. A lot of people call me Jill the Welder, and that started a while ago when I was an instructor in Medicine Hat, Alberta, which I'll get into later. I am a Red Seal endorsed B pressure welder. I've been in the trade for 25 years. I've also been a business owner. I've had two different businesses, three if you count the first one with a name change. First it was Ironside Industries, then we changed it to Twisted Steel. My second business is Trailblazers Inc, which I just started this fall in 2020. I've also been a welding instructor in several different areas. I taught in Medicine Hat. I teach in Calgary. I've taught ornamental ironwork, creative ironwork, all kinds of... I've never taught the apprenticeship is about the easiest way to explain it. I have taught high school students. I will be returning soon to teaching high school students. I have also filled in as interim national manager with UA Canada for coverage of maternity leave. And I've just recently acquired my welding inspector certification. So I'm a level 1 welding inspector in the province of Alberta with endorsement in C178-2 and ASME B31-3. I might go for another one too. I have the books, so it's just a matter of writing the tests. I sit on a number of committees. Build Together. I've been a member of Build Together Alberta, which is the Women of the Building Trades of Alberta. I've been with them for 2 years. I've also spoken in many different groups to speak to people that are thinking about joining the trade. So my very first event was high school dropouts or troubled teens in Medicine Hat. It was a group of women when I was an instructor. I really don't know how long ago that was. I'm going to say like maybe 15 years ago. And I've spoken and sat as mentors in Skills Alberta, Skills Ontario, and Empower, which is a group in Calgary to recruit women to the trades. I've spoken to many groups of theirs. I've also taught and spoken to Trade Winds to Success groups in Alberta as well. I teach out of Calgary, so those are the groups that I've spoken to here. I've also spoken to a couple of groups for CWB Women of Steel. That was in Edmonton. I think there were 2 groups I spoke to. So long story short, I speak as many times as I can to whoever I can. I feel that sharing my story of 25 years in the trades can inspire them to follow in my footsteps, which leads me to the reason why I named my most recent business Trailblazers Inc. I think it's very critical. It's very important to share the stories of women who have been in the trades for a long time, to express their challenges and how we've paved the way for the next generation of women in the trades or people in the trades generally. We're working to break down those barriers. We're identifying it. We're bringing it to government agencies, and through these podcasts, I'm going to change up a little bit. I might have themed podcasts which will help us present that to the government and say, hey, you know what, these are barriers for us, and you need to step up and help bring people out of poverty into good paying positions. There is an upcoming shortage expected of 250,000 tradespeople from across Canada due to a retiring workforce. We need to get lots of people, not just women, into the trades to replace this retiring workforce. And how are we going to do it with all these barriers in the way? Sometimes people join the trades and leave because of barriers. And let's get government support. Shouldn't be out of our pocket. Let's get the people who can make things happen to make things happen. Why did I get in the trades? Well, you know what? When I was in high school, I really didn't enjoy sitting at a desk and learning things that I didn't think I needed, which later on I found out I did need a lot of that science and math. But, when you're 15, you know everything, right? I have a 16-year-old living in my basement. I'm a single mom as well. My 16-year-old is still at home with me, so that's great. I got a couple more years to get him started in the trades. He does want to be our fifth generation of welders. I am fourth generation, which maybe I'll explain. So my father is obviously a welder, and then my mother's father taught him how to weld, and my mother's father's father was a blacksmith. If you can see behind me, I have all of our certificates on the wall. The black and white photo is my great-grandfather's blacksmith shop. The certificate below is my grandfather's certificate. The two in the middle are my father. He's dual ticketed, so he is steam fitter, pipe fitter, and his welding certificate is down below, and then mine is the one that's by itself. I hope to be adding another couple certificates to the wall, so I might have to make some more room. But my inspection certificate should go up there, and I might have a few other things in the works. I'll get into that when they come. Okay, so why did I get into the trades? Yes, I didn't enjoy school. I didn't want to sit at a desk. I wanted to get paid for all that hard work, so after school, I became a waitress. It was really the only thing that I could do, and I worked at Tim Hortons was my first job, and then I was a waitress, serving burgers and beer and things like that. And as hard, I will not disrespect anybody in that field because it is very hard work. All due respect, and I'm probably one of the best tippers around because I've been there, I've done that. It wasn't for me. I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. I wanted to do something I could be self-sufficient, independent, right? Independent young woman. I wanted to have nice things in life. I wanted to be able to buy a nice car, buy a house, things like that. And a waitress's income just wasn't cutting it. Even with the best tips in the world, it wasn't going to buy me a house. So I started thinking about career options, and I sat down with my mom and dad, and I said, I'm trying to think of, what I'd like to do that's a career. I thought about becoming a mechanic because I always loved those old muscle cars, and that really interested me. Fixing up old vehicles. My dad loves old trucks, so that was another draw to fixing up old trucks, and not necessarily making them shiny and new. It's making them original and keeping them the way they're supposed to look. But my mom said, you know what? Her father wanted one of his daughters to get into the trades. My mom has 4 sisters, so it was 5 girls in her family. And none of his daughters were interested in becoming a welder. And of course, way back then, my mom was born in the 40s. So in the 60s, it was very unusual to have a woman welder, right? Yes, we all know about Rosie the Riveter, and that was in the 40s. So women were in the trades, but it was still quite rare. So, of course, my grandfather passed away when I was 15. So it's not a conversation I could have had with him or ever did have with him. So, yeah, my dad was sitting at the table, and he said, yeah, let's get you on the back of the rig there in the backyard, and we'll burn some rod and see what you think and see if you like it. And I was a hostess in a restaurant at the time, and I really was not liking wearing dresses, especially. I'm not a dress girl. But I tried it, and I loved it. I wrote my name. I was grinding. I even burnt out one of his 9-inch grinders. I don't think he was very happy with me. But 9-inch grinders, it's like a floor polisher. I honestly don't think I've used a 9-inch grinder since. They're enormous beasts. So I tried welding. My dad had a business, so we got him to start my apprenticeship, which means he indentured me, is the proper terminology. And next thing you know, I got a phone call from the apprenticeship board that said, hey, we got somebody that didn't show up in school. There's a girl in that class. Do you want to go? And I said, yes, I do. I had never had a welding job. Just, worked with my dad a little bit, like a little bit, because I was working full-time as a hostess. So, the odd day here and there. I think I'd only started my apprenticeship like 6 weeks before. Was looking for, welding work. Anyways, I jumped in. I didn't even have my own welding hat, really. I was borrowing one of my dad's. I had to, borrow my mom's steel toe boots from a job she had. It was just crazy. So I jumped in and I did it. First year was hard. It was really hard. I knew nothing. But I said to my instructor, I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what to wear. I don't know. I have to light a torch. I've never even lit a torch before. And you want me to weld with one? This is insane. And he said, you know what? You have no bad habits we have to break then. So welcome. Um, and he was my favorite instructor. His name is Abe Steer. There were a couple other instructors, but Abe seemed to get me. He seemed to be able to figure out what was wrong when I was struggling and stuff like that. So I made sure that he was my instructor for all 3 years. My third year, I actually took second and third year school back to back just because Abe was retiring. I wanted to make sure he was with me for my third year. So yes, school was challenging for me. I didn't have good marks. I didn't do well, but I passed. I got through it because that's what school is for. You're there to learn. You're there to work out the problems that you're having. But seriously, in 3 years, when I got my journeyman certification, I was like, wow, where did the time go? 3 years already. I couldn't believe all that I had been through, and I had job hopped quite a bit, which made the time go by really really fast. But and I used to say, and I'll continue to say it, as having a full-time job has its perks too, but job jumping or job hopping, because a lot of our jobs are short term. So don't say, hey, quit a job and, be reckless and burn bridges. No. I'm saying hop around and learn as much as you can for as long as you can. In the trades now, I still, job hop. I've done a lot of different things over the years, and you never stop learning. And that is a good thing. As soon as you think you know everything, then you're in trouble. And the processes are always changing. There's always new technology coming out. And, the apprenticeship is actually always changing. Now that I'm back to instructor, I have to review all the books again because things have changed in 25 years, trust me. And another cool thing about the book, me having my old welding books from school, is I also have my dad's books from when he went to school in the early 70s. So one of these days, maybe when I finally get to retire, I'm going to compare his books to my books to the books that I have now, which are probably going to be used by my son in a couple of years when he goes to school. It's things have changed. Things have evolved, and it's a good thing. But, some things remain the same. You got to be safe. You got to be smart. Don't burn yourself, things like that. As a welder, you're going to get burnt from time to time. But, if you don't have scars, then you're not working. And they tell a story, right? Why did I start the business? Why do I do the things that I'm doing now over and above that I don't get paid for, like doing the podcast and speaking to groups and things like that? I really feel like, a lot of people look for their purpose. I'm not religious, so it's not like a purpose, a need that I feel I need to know. But it seems kind of strange that I keep getting pulled into these positions of speaking to groups. And at first I fought it. I thought, no, I don't really have a story to tell. I'm not good at public speaking. Oh, I get all nervous and, and what if I forget what I'm going to say? And I don't really think I have a story to tell. And how can that help? But it's changed. I've seen the people that I can help. It's my story is inspiring, and I don't want to sound arrogant by saying that because I'm not arrogant. But I do have a lot of pride in what I've done and the things that I've accomplished. And I know that I've blazed trails for the people that have followed it behind me. Many times I was the first woman on the job sites, and I thought it was very, very important to make sure that I was as professional as I possibly could have been, do the best job that I could possibly do, no weld repairs, don't leave garbage behind, clean up after yourself, don't be the first one in the lunchroom, don't be the last one out of the lunchroom, don't be late for work, don't miss shifts. No partying when you're working, no partying. You want to go out on the last day when you get laid off, go have a beer with the boys, but you need to be 100% when you're on the job. You can't, especially, it's a dangerous job too. You need to be sharp. And being a single mom, I went a lot of years with not a lot of sleep, right? Kids keep you up in the night and they wake up at all hours. My son had sleep issues until he was about 9 years old. So I went a lot of years with being tired, and that's bad enough. Don't add a hangover to that. You don't need, the more focused, the better. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, that's a little bit of my story. My path, I really feel being pulled into speaking events all the time. I feel like my path is helping other people find their path. And I think that path might be in the trades. And even if the only thing that somebody takes from an event that I speak at is to find something that they enjoy doing and follow that, whether it's the trades or not, I think you're going to be a happier person. And being a happier person, um, it has an effect on your entire life. You're a better mom, you're a better sister, spouse, brother, daughter, whatever. You're just a better person if you're happy with what you're doing all day. We spend a good portion of our lives at work, so enjoy what you do. Find something that makes you happy. There's all this talk about finding your passion. I don't know if you don't necessarily have to find your passion. Find something that you enjoy. I really enjoy welding. I know some people think that that's crazy to say. There's just something about melting two pieces of metal together to making them become one. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And that thing is whatever it is that I've made, maybe two pieces of pipe in a factory or a plant, are going to be there for, I mean, who knows how long, hundreds of years. It's nice to think that the things that my grandfather used to weld are still around. The things that my father has welded are still around, right? It's an enormous responsibility. It's a very rewarding job, but it also opens a lot of doors. I never ever thought about being a welding instructor. I was asked by the artists in the community in Medicine Hat long ago when I had my business and I was, doing projects for them. They asked me if I wanted to be an instructor. So sure, okay, let's do it. Did I ever think I'd own a business or three? No, but I'm on really technically business number 3 right now. Did I ever think, I would be a welding inspector? No, but, I just finished my certification. I don't even have my card in my hand yet, but I passed the tests. Did I ever think that was going to happen? No. Um, and National Manager of Youth, Diversity and Indigenous Relations with UA Canada. When that was offered to me on an interim basis, of course I'm going to do that. That's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of things, and that just goes to show, um, another thing that I recently was elected to the executive board of Local 496 in Calgary. I'm a member of the United Association and first joined in the 90s when I was a first year apprentice. I'm the first female on the executive board at UA Local 496. First, probably in Alberta, I do believe, and it is an honor. That is, I was nominated, and people voted on me, and they voted me in. So that's huge. That means, that shows me how the people feel about me, and the people that didn't vote for me. You know what? Obviously, I need to show them that I am the right choice to be sitting on the executive board, because I don't think I'm only going to do one term. I really, really think that this is something that I wish to continue. But having said that, there is so much more that joining the trades can offer you once you get started. You can become a foreman, a general foreman, a supervisor. You can, there's really, it just goes on and on and on. You can go back to school and get your Blue Seal certification. You could become an engineer if you want. I mean, welding engineer, it's great to have this background. If you start at the bottom and work your way up, that's the best way to be, because then you can actually sit at the table and say, well, no, in the reality of things, this is how it would actually be. A lot of times welders butt heads with engineers because they haven't set foot on a shop floor and they don't know that, hey, that really won't work. Looks good on paper, not in reality so much. Anyways, there's lots of opportunities, lots and lots of opportunities. I did write myself a little list of things that I wanted to mention. So I think I've got through my list, and I'm going to go through the list of questions that I ask everybody when I have a guest on the podcast. So, Jill, how did you get started in the trades? I think I answered that one. How far have you explored in the trade? Done. What is your favorite aspect of your trade of choice? My favorite aspect? I don't know. There's just, opening all the doors that open up. I love that I get to have brothers now. I only have two older sisters, and my mom only had four younger sisters. Lots of girls in the family, nothing wrong with that. But, I'm kind of a rough and tumble girl. I was always a tomboy, and I had no brothers. So now I have like hundreds, if not thousands, of brothers, and that's really cool. I love my sisters in the trades too. Um, it's really cool to have like all these women who can relate to me that are in different trades or the same trade. We get to chat about that, and my brothers. I mean, the camaraderie on the job sites is just it's a lot of fun. You do have to be safe. You do have to get your job done, but you get to have a lot of fun too. So that is one of my favorite things. Melting two pieces of metal together to make them become one with like using intense heat and hand skill. That's pretty awesome. I gotta say, it's and I've said before, this. I think this is the only trade that is both hot and cool at the same time. Yeah, very funny. Anyways, where's my audience? Where's my fake laughter button? Okay. There's many aspects of the trade that I really, really like. I actually took a course one time and had to write a poem, and had to write a 1,500 word free verse poem about something I knew a lot about. And I just had my baby. I was taking this course, while he was a newborn, because I was bored. So this poem, I don't know a lot about anything but welding. So I wrote a 1,500 word poem about welding. Didn't have to rhyme, but yeah, I should post it on the website. I'll try to remember to do that. It's an interesting poem about my love of the trade. So there's a lot about it. Love the smell of 6010. It's like campfire. It's like gets me going. It makes me want to, jump in and start burning some 6010 welding rod, because trust me, you got to try welding. If you haven't tried welding, please try it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so obstacles. The obstacles that I have overcome in the trade, while being the first woman on a lot of job sites, a lot of people. I got used to people staring at you, and hey, can she pull her weight? Can she do the job? Is she just here for a paycheck and easy money? Which doesn't last long for those that's and it's not a female thing. Some people do join the trades and just try and hide in the shadows and not actually do the work. Doesn't work. Doesn't last long. You're found out. They spot you. They can see that from a mile away, and you're turfed. But the stairs and stuff. Being the first person on the job sites, I thought it was really, really important to show that I not only could do the work, that hiring more women would be a very good idea for them. Women can do the jobs too, no matter what the trades are. If you want to talk about being, maybe not as strong as the guy beside you, occupational health and safety really don't want people doing a lot of heavy lifting, because you'll ruin your back, you'll get hurt. And a lot of the older generation that did do a lot of the heavy lifting will tell you, don't wreck your back. The pain is not good. You're on medication for the rest of your life or facing surgery. Do not do that. Occupational health and safety, they don't want you to get hurt either. So we always use mechanical means now to lift, unless there's the rare circumstance where you get a bunch of people together and lift one thing into maybe an odd location, but then you're not doing it by yourself. So there is no excuse to say, oh, well, you're not as strong as that person over there. Well, I've outlifted a lot of guys too. So, way back when, I used to have some pretty good pipes. Maybe not so much 25 years later. But other obstacles would be childcare. Childcare is a big issue. I hope to very soon have a podcast, a group podcast with women who have faced the issue of childcare. The biggest issue with childcare is a lot of times childcare facilities aren't open early enough for us to start our shifts when we're expected to do so. A lot of times we have to be on the job ready to work at 6 or 7 a.m. and a lot of times daycares don't open until 6 or 7 a.m. So that doesn't work for us, and that doesn't just affect women, that affects men too. There's a lot of shared custody agreements where maybe the father has the kids for a week or two, or even a couple of days. Even couples that are together, they try to share the child care duties like they should. It's not one person's job. There's two parents, right? Two parents need to manage it, and so it's an issue across the board, but it's affecting tradespeople. And we're finding that if anybody is gonna quit their career for their kids, it's typically the mom. And if it's the mom that's in the trades, then she drops out of the trades about the time that she starts having, starting a family. So that's really unfortunate. And we know working in the trades brings benefits. It brings great pay, brings, a retirement package and all of that. And I mean, you want benefits when you have kids. You want benefits when you don't have kids. But when you have kids and you're dealing with prescriptions and eyeglasses and dental appointments and things like that, having benefits is like a game changer. You need benefits when you have a family. Talk to a family that doesn't have benefits, and they'll tell you just how much they'd love to have some benefits. So it's a very critical thing to keep women in the trades, keep everyone in the trades, is childcare. And of course, there's other obstacles that have come, along the way. A lot of people wonder why, I would want to do a mostly male trade, predominantly male trade. And I just say, why not? I can't remember who coined the phrase, but trades don't have genders. They don't. Who said that welding has to be a male trade? Who said nursing is only women? It's not. Who said, doctors aren't all male. There's a lot of female doctors. So we have to really stop this nonsense. There is no job that is specific to men or women. I've worked alongside guys who complain that their wives don't cook and stuff like that. And I just say, do you not watch the cooking channel? Because it's mostly men. Gordon Ramsay, gotta love him. Hell's Kitchen, beat Bobby Flay. There's another great one. I mean, there's a ton of them. How can, there is no, it's 2021 officially right now. So like, get over it. There's no gender for trades or otherwise. So we need to stop that. We really need to. That's another challenge of mine, right? That, doing these podcasts and hopefully bringing more women into the trades through the podcast, through other things that I do, and through, a lot of the things that are going on right now, Trades Women Build Nations, Alberta Women in Trades, supporting women in trades. There's just tons of organizations that are bringing women to the forefront and saying, hey, if you're looking for a career, if you're a woman looking for a career, join the trades. And, there's more and more women all the time joining the trades. And we've got lots of mentoring opportunities like Alberta Women in Trades. So that we're going to break down that barrier, that we're going to lose that stigma, hopefully before the end of my time. I would love to see that. Okay. So next question, were there other women that I could look to for support? There really weren't. Like I said, when I first jumped into school, there was another woman in that class, but she was in the same level as me. We were both first years. Was it nice to have another woman to in class? Yeah, it definitely helped. Definitely helped. Especially during lunch breaks and things like that, where you have a little bit of quiet time. I'm sure it would have been a lot quieter had I not been able to sit with her. Her name was Denise, and she's awesome. She's wonderful. I ended up getting a job at the same place that she worked after first year was finished, and we worked together a little bit, not side by side, but at the same location. And she was just, if I needed any help, I knew I could always go to her and ask her where I could find something, or if she could help me figure something out. She was really great. But were there women in the trades older than me, or that were already journeyman certified? No, there weren't. I knew that they existed, but I didn't know any of them. And along the way, I found a few, and we'd have the odd conversation, but nobody that I really stayed in touch with. And that is a big reason why I am putting myself out there. And sharing the stories of the trailblazing tradeswomen through the podcast, that's why I do it. I want people to know that there are other women out there. And if you want to reach out to them or to me, let me know. My website, obviously the podcast will be shared through the website, but if you're finding me on YouTube or another way through Facebook or something, go to my website, www.trailblazersinc.ca. There is an email link that you can email me, and if you reach out to me, I will put you in touch with their permission with any of the women that you've seen through the podcast, the people you've seen through the podcast. I do intend to do some podcasts with some male allies of ours. If you want to be put in touch with them, I'll see what I can do. Definitely. I think it's really important to have that connection. But I did not have that connection a long time ago, and when I did get my journeyman certification, as part of that, you have to help apprentices along their journey. So I not only did that, when I saw other women on job sites, I would put myself out there and say, hey, if anything's going on and you want to talk to another female on site, just get a hold of me. Call me. I can give you my number, or you can just find me on site and I'll help you out. Or, if you just want to go for coffee and just get away from everything for a while or whatever. If you got an issue, just let me know, and I'll help you out as much as I can, or we'll go together and we'll get some help with your issue. So I've always put myself out there like that because I never had that before, and I thought it was really important to be that. What does a day in my life look like? Well, depends on what I'm doing for a living. So if I think of myself in the last position I had and the one I'm returning to soon as a welding instructor, a day in the life, I get up early. I have my son, so I make sure he has a little bit of breakfast before he goes to school. I go to work. I come home. During work, I teach. I am the best that I can be. I try to inspire. I try to be patient and understanding and teach. Everybody learns in different ways, and I took some leadership courses, and I've been an instructor enough to know that everybody has their own way of learning. So you have to be very patient, and you have to find what works for each student, and help them figure it out, because welding is a hand skill. You have to be comfortable. You have to think about all those things that are going on. Get comfortable with this big helmet on your head and the noise and the possibility of getting burnt and all of that stuff. And they're quite successful once they get it. They light up, and then their confidence is built, and that's part of it, building the confidence up. So while I'm an instructor all day long, yes, that's what I do. I focus on the students. I come home and I put my mom hat back on, and I do, whatever mom duties I need to do. I have usually a few pets kicking around. Through the years, I've had dogs and cats. I have one cat at the moment, but we do foster dogs. So sometimes we have a dog here as well. We do have a bearded dragon who's currently hibernating. I don't miss the crickets that he was being fed and worms. So I'll take the hibernation. I wish I could hibernate too in the winter. That would be kind of nice. Not a bad thing at all. So my son's 16. He doesn't really need me a whole lot. Like I mentioned, breakfast, I do make sure that he has something to eat. I think that's a good way to start your day. So I do try to get some healthy food into him in the evening. And then it's time to call it a day, and we start all over again. So it depends on what I'm doing in my life. I do like to currently keep myself busy with taking courses to just become the best whatever I can be. Like I said, I took some leadership courses, entrepreneurship courses, intercultural competency courses, which is diversity. It's mostly about Indigenous diversity, but I think courses like that are really critical if you want to find yourself in any positions of like instructor or leadership. So I've taken a lot of courses. So I'm a busy person. I'm a busy person all the time. I don't like to sit around, and if I'm sitting around, something's wrong. I have a gazillion books. I haven't read a lot of these books. This is not even all my books. I have stacks and stacks all over the place with good intentions, and I've always said that I have to break my leg in order to sit still. I don't sit still. Not that I'm hyper. I just prefer to be busy. Which is another good trait if you're going to get into the trades. You don't want to stand around. You want to be busy. Maybe someday if, I hope I don't break my leg, but if I do break my leg, that's the only time I'm ever going to sit down and get all these books read. Yes, I'm a very busy person. I love to do renovations too. I love painting. I love all that kind of stuff. Working in the yard. I love gardening, all that stuff. So if I do have a few spare minutes, I'm usually digging in the dirt. Wintertime, I'll probably paint something, clean the garage, sort through some stuff, play with the dogs and cats, and I don't know. Zach and I, my son and I, just got back from a road trip to Banff, so that was a very nice way to spend a day. Not sitting around. It's wintertime, but the roads are good, so I said, hey, let's go enjoy the mountains. It's COVID right now. There's the pandemic is happening at the moment, so We stayed in our vehicle. We did get out to get a pizza. We love Aardvark Pizza in Banff. So if you go to Banff, you got to check out Aardvark Pizza. It's the best. It's a tradition for us. We go to Aardvark every time. So we just went and drove around the mountains, had some pizza, and yeah, it was a good time. Great way to escape the humdrum winter blues. Okay, so do I have any advice for others who may be looking to join the trades? There are many programs that you can take if you're a woman looking to, thinking about getting into the trades. In the Calgary area, I know there's a lot of programs. I mean, there's always Women Building Futures in Alberta. Empower at SAIT is a wonderful program that you could take. You do get to explore a bunch of trades, so that's good. Same with Women Building Futures. I know that the CWB Women of Steel have come through here twice in Edmonton. So if you're thinking about welding specifically, that is a course you should watch for. Go to the CWB website. I'm sure there's more information there about it. There's lots of, do some research. Find some courses for introductory to trade courses. And if you can't find anything, then find somebody that is in the trades. See if, maybe your friend's relative is in the trades, and see if you can try it with them. Or, you know what? Worst case scenario, write up a resume and start dropping them off. Have a chat with the manager, the foreman, whoever will listen, and say, hey, I kind of think I'd be good at this, or I want to try carpentry for a while, or I want to try welding or pipe fitting or whatever, and reach out that way and see if you can score yourself a job, and just try it for a while and see if you like it. And maybe you won't like carpentry. Maybe you'll decide to get into something else. Maybe you like working with wood, but you don't want to be a carpenter building houses. You want to be a finished carpenter building cabinets, which is more detailed, and it's a whole different thing. Like I said, the trades are you have to explore. There's a lot of trades to explore to find the one that you like. It's a bit of a challenge, but jump in. And there's a lot of union halls too, so you always can reach out to your union halls. I'm a member of UA Local 496 in Calgary. We also have UA Local 488 in Edmonton. As far as Alberta goes, we have 32 United Association locations across Canada, and of course we have them all over the United States as well. We're a great organization, so of course I'm going to root for UA. But if you were thinking about, carpentry, call the Carpenters Hall. There's boilermakers, scaffolders, there's steel workers, truck drivers. You can become, I'm just thinking about unions, Teamsters. There's all kinds of union halls that you can contact and just tell them what you have in mind and see if they have a program or they can take you on even. Maybe they have a course that they're doing that maybe hasn't been advertised that you wouldn't see if you wouldn't have contacted them. So that is another way of getting yourself into the trades. But there's always YouTube too. When you're doing your research, check out YouTube and see if, do some exploring. Like I said, finish carpentry. Maybe if that's something that you think you might be interested in, browse around, check it out. There's something that I've said a lot too that I'd like to mention on my own podcast is I do not disrespect anybody that does want to go to university or college or school. It just wasn't for me. We do need all the doctors, lawyers, nurses that are around, especially now in these pandemic times, right? Where would we be without them, right? But also, some people think that joining the trades, you have to be a lesser educated person. That is very, very much not true. You need a lot of maths and sciences to become a tradesperson. And where do all these doctors, lawyers, and nurses work? Where, way back to Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, she worked out of a wagon. Who built that wagon? Tradespeople did. Now we're building these enormous, beautiful hospitals. I live just outside of Calgary. The Calgary Cancer Center is not even completed yet. It's been going on for several years. A lot of my friends have been working there. Places like that, law offices, like those are all tradespeople that built those buildings and put in the plumbing and put in the oxygen lines and like all of that. Those are all tradespeople. So we need each other. We need each other, and we need to, stop this stigma of looking down, frowning upon tradespeople. It's really silly if you ask me. But yes, we need each other. So if you're thinking about joining the trades and people are not supportive of it, there's a lot of people I've walked away from in my life that you don't want to support what I do. You're obviously not a friend of mine. You're not true to me. You don't know me. And usually I not on purpose, but just by following my heart and doing what I want to do and doing everything to the best of my ability and being truly happy. Usually they come around in the end and they say, yeah, you were right. You're doing some amazing things. You're making good money. You're able to support your family. I've bought a few houses over the years. Um, I do well and I'm content and I'm happy. And it's not a bad thing to do if you're thinking about getting into the trades and somebody's trying to talk you out of it. Don't listen. Follow your heart. Do what you want. You won't regret it. Trust me. It's the best thing I've ever done in my life was joining the trades. I was a tradesperson before I had my son, and having the benefits and things that I did have when I returned to work was phenomenal. Of course, obviously, I've had a positive impact on him. He knows the happy life that we've had. Even as a single mom, like we've done quite well. We've been able to go on some holidays. I've I don't spoil him rotten. Leave that to his father. He's a great guy. We get along very well. He's an awesome dad. But my son has seen that it's a good career choice, then that's why he wants to follow in my footsteps. He's going to be our fifth generation. And I look forward to that. We actually, yesterday, what day is it today? Yes, Friday morning. Yesterday morning, I got to take him to the weld shop at my hall, and him and I were practicing welding, and he's doing really well. So, moments like that are precious to me. So I'm really can't wait to get his journeyman certification in a few years, and it's going to be one hell of a celebration, I'll tell you that. Anyway, so final remarks. Anything else I would like to say is usually the last question that I ask my guests when they sit in on the podcast. I don't know. I don't know what my last words would be. I think I've said everything that I need to say. If you want to get into the trades, do it. There's nothing. The only thing holding you back is you, and don't do that to yourself. Many years ago, I used to say I can't is not in my vocabulary. There's a difference between I can't and I don't want to. If I don't want to do something, I won't do it. But to say I can't doesn't work for me. Yes, I can, and I will. And when people tell me that I can't, that stirs up a little fire within me to I'm not about proving people wrong, but how dare you say I can't? I'm the one who decides. And if I want to do it, I will do it. And I have done a lot of things, right? Like I said, I've explored a lot of the options in the welding field, and I'm not done yet. There's a lot more that I can do. Returning as an instructor is a pretty amazing thing. I can't wait to get started again. I got 2 different groups that I'm going to be teaching again, and every time I go back to being an instructor, I look forward to it again. And I haven't explored this welding inspector thing. So, and there's other things like, what about a weld examiner? I might get into that too. Blue Seal certification. Who knows, right? Who knows what'll be coming with us. All I can say is joining the trades is the best thing I ever did for myself, for my son, in my life. As a person who didn't enjoy school, it worked out best for me. If you don't know, joining the trades, you usually only go to school for 2 months a year, and your apprenticeship program could be anywhere from a 3-year program, which is a welder's program, is 3 years, up to, I believe, 5 in some provinces in Canada. I know that pipe fitting is a 4-year program in Alberta again. I think they did 3 years for a while, and they put it back to a 4-year program. So you do go to school 2 months every year, and then you typically work about 1,500 hours in between, but you are working, you're getting paid to learn on the tools in between that time. So that's a pretty incredible thing. And it's the wages that you get is a percentage of the journeyman rate. So for welders, it's 60% for first year, which is you're basically starting at $20 an hour or better. And then second year is 75% of journeyman rate, and then third year is 90% of journeyman rate. So the more you progress, the more money that you make. You only go to school for 2 months every year. And after your 3 years, you're journeyman certified. And there's also, don't forget that there's a lot of bursaries and government grants. Right now, there are government grants. There is the apprenticeship incentive grant. There is the apprenticeship completion grant. There is also a specific apprenticeship grant for women. The government is trying to get more women into the trades. So, you could actually get ahead, depending on what your schooling is costing and things like that. And you do get EI, employment insurance, while you're in school. So save your money, go through the program. I mean, in no time at all. Just like I said, 3 years passed and I could not believe I was finished in 3 years. It just blew my mind. And then I went on and got my B pressure certification, and it just went from there, and started my business. And it opened so many doors that I don't, it just goes on and on. It's a great career choice. If you're thinking about joining the trades, and I hope I've inspired at least one person from this podcast or any of the podcasts that I do with my guests, because joining the trades is a wonderful option. So if you're considering it, look into it. Go for it. Go for it. As I've said in other presentations, go for it. Trust me, you won't regret it, and you won't. So that's all for me. Feel free to email me or find me. You can contact me through the Trailblazers Inc. Facebook page. You can find me on the website. My email address is jill@trailblazersinc.ca. I'm on LinkedIn. Find me, track me down. Some people, stalk me on LinkedIn, and I'm okay with that. I don't share a whole lot. LinkedIn is a business site, so, there's not a lot of my personal life that goes on there, which is perfect for me. I don't share a lot of my personal life, except, of course, through this podcast. So yes, find me if you have any questions. Feel free to, subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep watching the podcast. I hope to release one every Sunday morning. And so far, so good. We will have trades women stories. We will have men in the trades, or men that are our allies, sharing their stories. I hope to do, I've got a few things up my sleeve. I've got some plans for the future for the podcast. We are also doing a fundraiser to help women or tradespeople in general that are struggling to afford tools and equipment, workwear, for to continue their journey in the trades. So if you need some financial support, I can help in a way. There's an application form that we will be posting. We already have a GoFundMe fund set up, that the link is on the website again. If you want to make a donation, or if you need some money, let me know, and I can see what I can do to help you out. And donations are always welcome, and all the funds go towards the Tools for Tradeswomen is what we're calling it. We also have shirts for sale and some stickers. I need to order some more stickers. We just sold out, but there's Trailblazer Inc. shirts, and there's future Trailblazer shirts for youngins. If you want to get someone younger than you that will be an incredible tradesperson, a future Trailblazer shirt, they are available on our website too. And $4 from each shirt sale, Trailblazer Inc. or future Trailblazer shirts, $4 from each shirt sale goes to Tools for Tradeswomen. So it's a great idea to buy a shirt, because you're not only, showing that you are a Trailblazer or a future Trailblazer, but you're supporting other people that are in the process of becoming journeyman certified tradespeople themselves. Okay, I've talked enough. If you have any questions, shoot me a text or an email. I'll be happy to answer it. Follow me on any of the sites I previously said, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because hopefully we will have a podcast a week from now on. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you will stay tuned. Take care, and be safe out there, everyone.